Today, it gives me a great pleasure to present to the University of Metaphysics my creative project. I'll be interviewing a 20-year-old youth, and I say 20-year-old youth. I wanted to talk to a 20-year-old and get their views on spirituality. I have with me today Erroll Najee. Gibson, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure.
Okay. I know we spoke earlier, and I mentioned to you there were three, and I want to say four belief systems that we'll be covering. And I wanted to hear your views of those belief systems. I'm not looking for any particular things. I just want to know what your experience has been and how you feel about them, and share them with us. Okay. And I'm going to say with us because this project will be submitted to the University of Metaphysics for their reviewing, and I'm quite sure that they will glean from you that you have some views that would be very interesting. The four that I like to cover, one would be Christianity. Let's start there.
Christianity, I believe, is overwhelmingly the most accepted religion.
Okay.
At least in the United States, I can say that it's the most accepted religion. It's kind of the norm as far as religious tendencies go. I attended Catholic school in my youth, and from that experience I can say it's definitely a community religion. It's something where you step in faith and you're not walking alone, you're walking with a group of people.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. And I understand that that you're attending a college at this time, and that university is a Methodist university.
Yes.
Do you see the influence of the spiritual beliefs influence the overall growth of the students there?
Yes, a lot of people are definitely dedicated to their faith and religion. There's people who study philosophy in hopes of becoming pastor or reverend, or whatever denomination or name comes with their specific church. I think because I live in the Bible Belt that it's a stronger presence of religious aspects, especially Christianity. There's not as much I'm not going to say religious freedom. You're free to practice whatever religion, but not as much frequency. A lot of people go to church.
The second one that I'd like to talk about is Hinduism. And I know that you've had some world travels and you had the opportunity to stay in India. If you don't mind, what encouraged you to go to India, first of all?
I went to India on a study abroad program, and it was pretty much going for school, but also learning about the culture and society that India has.
Okay. And from a spiritual standpoint, how would you view India?
It's definitely a religious culture. I think it's a lot more open-ended. There's a lot more different religions present, and people, they're more open to speaking about their religion. They'd rather teach you than have you be ignorant to like what they're going through. Where I feel like in America, a lot of people get cut off in their religious preferences. They get stuck in what they know, and it's their faith, and faith is such a strong connection. But in India, it's more of, okay, we understand that you believe in this, but if you're gonna come to me with like an issue or something, I want you to understand where I'm coming from also. Not to say that yours is wrong or mine is wrong, but to say we just have two different perspectives.
All right. I know when we were talking earlier, you mentioned that they have multiple gods that they kind of worship to. Can you kind of reflect on that again?
I believe Hinduism is polytheistic, which they believe in multiple gods. I think that's interesting because a lot of the time, well, as far as Christianity, you have gods, but you also have saints. And in Hinduism, there's multiple gods. It may be a god for nature, or a god for love, and maybe having multiple gods provides advantage, not to the god per se, but to the person, because instead of sending everything that you always have to the same god, you sending specific messages to different gods, or you can place energy into different beings versus just having one option all the time.
Oh, okay. The next one I'd like to talk about is Islam.
I believe the Muslim faith is the world's largest following, which is a testament in itself.
Okay.
A lot of people, they've accepted as their faith. And I think the discipline that comes with being Islamic is very powerful. I've met a lot of people that study Islam or under Islam, and their dedication is in some ways more powerful than their faith. It's not just that you have faith in this, but you're dedicated to this faith. It's not just like I accept this as what I will. I accept this as what I'm willing to practice.
Right.
But it's also, this is my daily life. I wake up for this. That type of thing.
Interesting. The last one is Buddhism.
As a youth, I was raised in a Buddhist household, so I believe my view of Buddhism is that overwhelmingly it's about peace.
Okay.
The idea of Buddhism is that there was once a Buddha, and he taught many people, and from his teaching there was many followings.
Yes.
And I think, I can't say for all religions, there's different denominations for any religion, but I think the story of Buddhism, that it starts from the one teaching and spreads into multiple ones, is something that can go across any religion. But it's very interesting that it follows like that.
There's kind of a string that goes through these, what I refer to as very organized belief systems. And it seems as though in all four, they do a great deal of meditation. Have you ever participated in meditation?
No.
Would you be interested in meditation as a practice?
Yes, I'll try meditation.
Would you? Okay. It would be something I would recommend. I think that it's very helpful. I think the four religions that we mentioned, and there's others too, and I think people do practice daily meditation. I think it's very helpful. It may be something that you want to consider. Right? Now let's also talk about religious leaders, if you don't mind. Martin Luther King, can you give us your view of Martin Luther King?
I feel like Martin Luther King used the church as a backbone for his movement, for his stand for equality. I think a key element to that is that he aimed to help African Americans, and African Americans up to that point were brought up in the church.
Okay.
So as much as his faith goes,
Yes.
like, he needed the church a lot more than it needed him. I think that's the only way I can put that. He needed the church because that's where his people were as well. But yeah, he needed the church because that's where his people were. Those are who he was trying to access. That was his demographic, was in the church.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well put. I want to, once again, thank you for participating in this. I think that we should spend more time working with our youth. And as individuals, I think that youth should be introduced to daily practice of meditation. I think that it's very helpful. I think it's a good discipline, and it allows them to stay focused. And I can't thank you enough for joining me. Now, to the university, I want to thank you for reviewing this project. And I do have one other thing that I want to share with you. Erroll Najee is my son, and we're very pleased with him, with his travels. And I also have my daughter, who you don't see, who happens to be recording this, and we're very pleased with her. She's also a student at the university. So we ask you to accept this project on behalf of our family and continue on with the work in which you're doing, trying to help people get better, serving as spiritual leaders and healers. Thank you.